All right, Chris, first of all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for doing this. I wanted to start by introducing yourself. So tell me who you are, what you do, and then we take it from there.
Awesome. Well, you've already pretty much introduced me. My name is Christopher, and I'm 27 years old. And right now, what I do is I'm currently a freelance photographer and a digital designer at One Click Chris.
Nice, love it. So let's paint a picture of you before joining the intentional personal branding, and tell me what were the things that you were doing, and were you an how do you say that? Were you a photographer by then? Had you a business right then? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Awesome. Okay, well, to paint a very vivid picture about this, let's just take about 6 years in the past. I started as a photographer there, and then by 2014, I moved to the Netherlands, continued my educational career with design and with hopes to combine photography and design and put that together. Now, in that sense, I've grown my photography skills, but not to an extent where I was doing stuff in terms of like my own personal brand. But throughout the years, I started seeing signs like from people around me in my network, like they're growing their own personal brand,
Yeah.
things that they were doing and stuff like that. I was like, hey, that seems like something I can start doing for myself as well. So I started doing the very little things like designing a logo for myself, establishing a brand name for myself, and in this case, kind of establishing a very broad niche
Mm.
um, that all accumulated to a point where I would always arrive to a cross road. And that crossroad is really a debate that I assume a lot of entrepreneurs, creatives really encounter,
Mm.
where they're faced with a dilemma on either pursuing what they're pursuing, so making their passion and their profession or whatever a reality, or leaving it aside.
Mm-hmm.
And in my case, I would always arrive there, sadly. And my latest conquest with that, or not conquest, my latest debate with that was right before thesis, where I was faced with this exact dilemma because I actually had the desire to do something with my personal brand.
Yeah.
Only I was faced with that or with my thesis. Thesis on its own, I'm pretty sure those that have gone through it knows that it comes with a certain workload with it. So I decided for myself to literally put a pin in my passion and really just focus 100% of my efforts, time, and everything on my thesis,
Yeah.
which honestly came out great because I did graduate, passed with flying colors and all that stuff. Truly happy with that. However, it was right after I graduated, I arrived at a point where I began to realize like I'm in a position where I actually have the liberty to do whatever it is that I want to do with my life. Because
Mm.
school was behind me, I had nothing else really in front of me. So it's basically like I can paint my own path right now.
Yeah.
Granted, at that point as well, I also arrived at the same point where it felt like, so from a business perspective, that I was starting literally from scratch.
Yeah.
So literally like, okay, I don't know anything about photography anymore. I don't know anything about Instagram anymore. It literally felt that way. Not that it
Yeah.
was that way, but it
Yeah.
felt that way.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, I think to round off that picture, I was also at a point where I was very haunted by my own failures in the past and trying
Mm.
to make something out of what I was doing. And I did take the steps necessary, of course. I took them with a lot of hesitation. Like I
Yeah.
would I would hesitate to take it, but I was taking it anyways, but something was still holding me back. So that's where I was, honestly, where right before I joined your course.
And what were the things that you were telling yourself back then, and how did it feel for you? Like doing not like you said, it felt like you were starting back from zero. What were you feeling, or what were the thoughts that were crossing your mind that by that point?
Well, in terms of how I felt, I can really summarize that into like three specific words. I felt scared, like absolutely scared. I felt overwhelmed because
Mm,
I would start thinking way down the road in the future, like I need to do this, like 20, 30, 40 other things. And I'm like, okay, I can't really do that.
yeah.
And I honestly felt unmotivated because I don't want to make it sound negative in that sense, but throughout my study, I was trying to somewhat combine my passion with my profession, and it didn't really turn out the way I was hoping it would. So
Mm,
it kind of led or felt to me as if it killed off my passion
mm,
for photography in this case,
yeah.
and that's why I felt a bit unmotivated to really pursue this desire I had, because like once again it really felt like I was starting from scratch. And the things I started telling myself once again is like I have to start all over again. Like you've tried again, and you're just not good enough.
Yeah.
You're not knowledged enough. Started thinking or saying things to myself like, why are you doing this to yourself? Um, and really just things that felt like they were endless. And in all honesty, it also hammered on the the disbelief in my own capability of doing what I needed to do. It really
Mm,
hammered on that, simply because I was in that state of mind.
yeah. Yeah, that's powerful. So tell me about what happened next. So when did you come up to find about the program and what made you jump into the program? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the point where you encountered the program. What were the things that happened into your head? What were the things that you were thinking? And maybe if you hesitated, why did you hesitate? And let's talk about more about that.
Okay, well, with the course, I'm gonna be very blunt with that. I really came across it through social media in this case, and
Hmm.
twice actually. First on Instagram, where I encountered it like not like normal, but then every once in a while, because I'm not so active on Facebook, but every once in a while I do go there anyways, and I found it there again too, where I was like, if this isn't a sign, I really don't know what is. So slowly I started to look more into it to see like, hey, this is starting to seem like the push that I really need for myself to actually take the steps or get over the hurdle that
Mm,
I was struggling for years for. And I thought, hey, maybe I should consider doing this. But this is where, once again, I would arrive at the same crossroad, like,
mm,
do I do this or do I leave it aside?
yeah.
And red pill, blue pill, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and that's where I believe it was a message I received from you, where I was like, I felt like the universe once again was speaking to me with these very indirect signs, like this is something that's on your path, that
Mm,
you should take it, and these are opportunities that are presenting to themselves for a reason.
mm.
And by God, like I took the opportunity, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take that step. And of course, like I felt scared, I felt overwhelmed and all this stuff, but I decided to take it anyways because I thought,
Mm,
well, what could go wrong here?
yeah.
What could
Yeah.
possibly go wrong here? Like there's
Yeah.
there's there's no risk, there's no, I'm literally in a position once again where I can paint my own path. So
Mm.
why not take the risk?
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. So you felt a little bit scary. You're honest about it. You felt a bit okay. Should I do this? Should I not do it? But let's do it anyway. Okay. So you took the jump. You jump into the program. You join. So what happened next? What was your experience with the program? What was the big
Ooh.
takeaways, things that you got from the program? Tell me about it.
I think to be specific with that, and I think I want to bring up the two key takeaways from the course, um, is that mindset shift that you introduced as well. that, in all honesty, not only blew my mind, but gave me a whole new perspective in terms of looking at a business, building a business, or establishing a business, however you choose to see it. It gave me a whole new perspective into that, because I was operating in a way that's completely the opposite in how you presented it. And with that in mind, I adopted that mindset in a way that I was literally looking at it. I was looking at things just differently. Like, I wouldn't be afraid anymore. It seems it's obviously something that's unclear. You need a lot of assurances and stuff like that before you can actually, but maybe that's more me, assurances of the steps you're taking regardless. But it's also one of the things I took from this course is just the journey that you're on right now. The very journey that you have in front of you, that you're laying now in front of you, is about falling and getting up again. If you went one way, it didn't work out, take a step back, go back a different way, learn from your mistakes and move onward from it. That's one of the key takeaways. And the second key takeaway is, to be specific, I can't. Damn, I knew this was going to come up.
Okay, so let's recap the first one. The first one was that the mindset shift, and this is something that we go through in module number 1. And I think this is also really important to mention, that you can know every single strategy out there, but if you don't start with the mindset, then there's no point of knowing all the strategy. That is why we start with the module number 1. And you said that you were actually operating from the complete backward way. And then I introduced a new model of how we can start looking at business right now, and not only on only business, but it could also be how you look at life, because honestly, that is how I live my life right now. So this is beautiful. This is amazing. So you had the second thing. Do you remember what was the second thing?
The second thing was taking messy actions. That is one of the because just taking action, once again, is great to hear, but taking messy actions is, once again, reassuring myself that, and through you reassuring me, like, that it doesn't matter the steps you take, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's really just about taking that step and seeing what comes out of it. If nothing came out of it, which is impossible, honestly, because I believe that every step you take, like, there's always a silver lining in it.
Yes.
Any decision you make, there's always a silver lining in it. And by doing that, the little things I've done in terms of taking action have given me not only the reassurance I needed for myself, but it's also giving me more of a clear vision of how I want my business to be, or where I want my business to focus on, and stuff like that. Those were the two things I could say that I can really take away from this. There are a lot of other things that are, I'd say, a little not minor, but like, they're additional things that came based on these two takeaways, like identifying my ideal customer, my niche, literally establishing I've discovered through this course how broad my niche was, because once again, I have the passion or the desire to combine my passion and my profession together into one business. And because I felt like it was so broad, it was by taking, once again, the messy actions, that I listed everything out, started putting everything in front of me, and just really being honest with myself and making the decisions needed, like, to establish my niche to a more manageable a manageable niche, where I felt actually very happy about it. Like, I know this is me now. And not like, for example, with photography, I want to be an all-around photographer, because it's great that you want to help everyone. It's great because you have the talent and the skills to do that. But from a business perspective, if you're going all around, it requires a whole lot more than what I personally was thinking it was requiring of me. So establishing my niche is also something I think could also be one of the key takeaways from this course, because it's not something that I was thinking about. It's not something that I actually invested time needed to really establish it.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy that I actually did that.
Awesome. Beautiful. Love it. So how do you feel right now? How do you feel after going through the whole course, after all those mindset shift and all the lessons that you've gone through, the modules, the knowledge that you got, the support? How do you feel right now?
I would say absolutely more confident. And I could say the same for self-reassuring myself. I'm more, well, confident is kind of connected to the, I just take actions now. I don't hesitate on them anymore, so less hesitant.
Yeah.
Far more happy than I thought, because once again, this really shows how I was back then, and the difference of how I was back then and how I am now. I'm a whole different person, and not just because of the mind shift, not the mindset shift, but just in general, everything that came along with it. Bonding with the community, getting to know people that are in the same position as me or similar position as me, that have similar desires and goals and all that stuff. Just great to know that there are other people out there that want the same thing out of life. And just the general engagement of that as well makes me, once again, very happy to get out of my own comfort zone, to engage with other people. Those would be, that would be it. That's how I would
Love
say
it.
I would feel, how I feel.
Love it. Love it. So what is possible for you right now?
There are a lot of things that are possible for me right now, if I have to be honest, but I narrowed it down very specifically to 4 things. The very fact that now I can grow as the creative that I envisioned for myself even years ago. That's definitely 100% possible. Another possibility is that I'm gaining, even now, I'm gaining the experiences that unfortunately I was hoping to get from school that I did not get, but I'm getting it now through the experience, through through not just this course, but the opportunities and all the stuff that I'm presenting for myself and have presented to them, have presented to me. The very fact I'm connecting with new people, not just through this course, once again, but outside of this course, reaching out to other people that are, once again, in the industry, that are outside of the industry, that are ideally my customers. And just the general fact of building lasting relationships, not just for business wise, but just like genuinely, like building lasting relationships. And finally, like I'd say the very last thing that's that's possible for me now is that I'm creating meaningful and impactful experiences or designs or moments for the people that truly support me and what I do.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it so much. I really do. Hey, if there's one thing that you could tell the Chris from before joining the program, what would you tell that guy?
There's a lot I would tell that guy. There's a lot. The list can go on and on. No, but if I have to narrow it down, I think one of the key things is to be kinder to yourself. And by be kinder, I mean, like there's a lot of things that fall under that. For example, I'm a person, and that's through this course I've been able to identify this. I'm a person that knows that always ask a particular question, but I already know the answer. I already have the answer. But for some
Yeah.
reason, I need that assurance from someone
Yeah.
else that
Yeah.
the answer I have is right or wrong.
Mm.
And that's where, once again, be kinder to yourself comes into play, because by being kinder to yourself, you're also reassuring yourself that you're well capable of doing the things that you
Mm.
have in mind. They don't come to mind just out of a blue, they come to mind for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And by reassuring yourself that you can do these things, that you're well capable, I believe that would be the biggest thing I would tell myself. Like, just believe in yourself, be kinder to yourself. To remind myself as well that life is full of ups and downs. That's really just how life is, and it operates that way. But it's in
Yeah.
those down moments that we have to learn as much as we can from it and move
Mm.
forward from it.
Mm.
Because if we decide to stay there, we're making the decision to stay there as well. We're not choosing to make peace with the situation for what it is.
Mm.
Um, and I'd say one of the things as well is to remind myself that I am mentally and spiritually and physically strong and doing the things that I believe I can do,
Yeah.
because I didn't make it in life this far and not do the things I needed to do to get to where I am today. And
Mm.
if it's all the failures I had to go through, fine, let it be that. But regardless, here I am still today with the same desire, the same ambition, the same passion, wanting something out of life for myself, and actually taking actions, messy actions, to actually accomplishing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Beautiful. And as you said, that you had to go through a lot of things to be where you're at, and you can call it failure, but I can also call it this. Those are the lessons that you needed in order to be here, because
True,
it wouldn't matter if you're here and it all went perfect. You had to
true.
go through those things to be here. So I really, really love that. So one final question that I have for you is that, um, what would you say to someone that is right now hesitant of joining the program for whatever reason?
Hmm.
Maybe they are not sure if right now is not the right time. Maybe they are not sure if they are good enough, if they have what it takes to make it happen. Or maybe they feel like, oh, okay, like you said, it felt like overwhelming. Like I had a lot of things to do. There's so much things to do. Where do I start? And that comes that feeling of overwhelm, of that feeling of feeling stuck. But feeling stuck is a choice. So what do you have, what would you say to those people that are on the fence?
And it's beautiful how you rounded that off with fence, because I'd like to paint a very vivid picture for them that I've always referred to myself when it comes to making these type of decisions. Right now, you're at the very edge of a cliff, and there's a black abyss in front of you. You really don't know what's in front of you. And there's this sergeant, this leader, whatever, that's telling you, jump.
Mm.
Now, most people, once again, would just jump because they know what to expect from it. And you're at the point now where you're hesitating, in this case, to join this course or not. Take that leap of faith and see what comes out of it, simply because this course, in my experience, has helped me in far more other aspects than
Mm.
just my business. And the very fact that I took that jump and I landed somewhere, and I look back at that cliff and I think, if I did not take that jump, I would not know that this platform, this island, this
Mm.
place where I land now exists.
Oh my God, you're giving me goosebumps, man. Ah, love it.
Because it's true, it's true. It's remarkable, honestly, how this course has helped me beyond the expectations that I had before even joining. because I thought this was just focused on business, which essentially it is, but it branches out to so many other things that I did not foresee. I personally did not foresee. It made me, as I told you, into a whole different person. I'm not who I was 60 days ago, literally. Like I
Wow.
am not. I'm just
Wow.
I'm more motivated. I'm more quick with my decisions. I don't hesitate. And that could be a bit further, of course, because I do still hesitate every once in a while. I do have my own setbacks every once in a while, but I
Mm,
still snap out of it and I say, hey, I remind myself of the things that I've learned from this course, what I've extracted from it, and how I've interpreted everything, and
mm,
use that to the best of my ability to change my context. To if I'm facing a problem, great, it's a problem, it's a challenge, whatever. I'm going to invest the time needed to tackle it, and if I don't come out, I'll take a step back. I'll come back with it with a fresh mindset, with a fresh pair of eyes, where I can actually accomplish that or go over that hurdle.
mm. Chris, thank you.
Preach.
Preach, Chris. I don't have any words anymore. Thank you. Thank you, man. This is amazing. I so appreciate you being part of the community. I appreciate you taking the time to tell someone that is watching this video or listening to our voice right now that needed to hear this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you a million times. Really,
You
thank
say
you.
thank you. You say thank you to me, but I'm gonna throw it right back at you, Stephen. Thank you, honestly, for
Uh,
whatever effort, whatever decision that you had to take to not only make this course, but to follow through with everything that was in it as well. It shows a lot of perseverance. It shows a lot
mm,
of character. Things that, once again, I really see now that they define who you are as a person, as an
mm.
individual. Like you understand, you empathize on such a level that it's truly remarkable. So if anything, you say thank you to me, I say thank you to you, because you've given me so much wisdom, so much knowledge that I'm only now beginning to apply, not just for my business, but for my life, just my life.
Mm.
And thank you. Thank
No, thank
you.
you. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks, thanks, thanks. Really, thank you.